Mustache Tales.
Thomas Middleditch, our guest today, our great friend, the multi-talented, awesome dude. It's so good to see you. Years ago, we met doing a movie, Super Trooper. I was doing Someone Marry Barry.
Yes.
With
Someone Marry Barry.
Super Troopers 2, my bounty partner in that was Tyler Labine, my Mountie partner.
Okay.
And see, Jay gets really mad at me if I don't mention Super Troopers 2 during one of our podcasts. He's
Fair
like,
enough.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, how
Well, you've got it out of the beginning now.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man. You didn't get one Super Troopers 2 reference in there.
I was
So,
okay with it until you called Tyler and you bounties, Canadian bounties. I mean, what's going on in there?
It was a long night last night. This is an early
Bounty hunter.
podcast for me. So I was doing Someone Marry Barry with Tyler Labine, and that's where I met Thomas Middleditch. And Damon Wayans Jr. was also in that movie,
My
Thomas.
good buddy.
Correct.
Can I say
it's
something?
such a fun.
Thomas, are you in your middle of your screen at all?
No, I've drifted over to
Like,
the
can you
side,
even
but
see- there you
now
go.
I'm in.
All right, good.
I move around.
He's a director.
I mean,
he's a director.
You know, let's show the face.
I'm a bendy boy.
Show the face.
No, don't you think you're talking to him like an actor, but every now and then the director comes out and just don't
All
sleep
right,
on it.
go. Get back to it.
So while we were making this movie, this was when like early days of it was like probably Twitter was in its form, but I didn't know that something could go viral. And Thomas, tell me if I'm wrong about this. You were making fun
I
of.
legit don't know where you're going with this.
I'm going to bring it
cannot-
up. I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
We're taking
Copy.
a long morning walk.
Okay.
You had a viral thing. You were making fun of dubstep music.
Oh wow, that is early on.
Do you remember that?
Now
Was that
I
the
do.
first thing you did that went like multi-platinum viral?
No. Not multi-platinum. And
when
B,
I was-
it's bizarrely not the first thing that had a little hit.
But I was asking you about that when it went viral, and you were saying, "Dude, you don't know what something viral is."
Well, I think your questions at the time were, "What is the internet? Hey, Tom, how do two computers talk to each other? I don't even know they knew English. What's going on?" And so I had to give you a little what for that.
It's true. I'd only spoken to my male friends about sports and football until we met, Thomas.
Yeah,
And
that's all you
opened up
knew.
my world.
Yeah, it's a grand old menagerie of the internet.
And now,
Well, you're
and
welcome.
Now here you are with young ladies' headphones on.
I stole my daughter's headphones.
Better
She stole
sound.
mine. Better sound. They've got rainbow on them.
Yes, King. Go off.
So yeah, this is the story about how I met Thomas. We were doing Someone Marry Barry. So a couple years ago, I was making Someone Marry Barry, which was a comedy with Damon Wayans Jr., Tyler Labine, and our guest today, Thomas Middleditch. And my character was had to give a eulogy to his father in this comedy. And I really wanted to cry during this scene. So we were shooting at a mausoleum in the valley, and I eulogized my father in the movie. And the idea of the scene is that Barry is going to ruin the funeral by making horrible comments and just kind of be this over-the-top character. So I was never cried in a movie before, and I cried. And it was okay. It was a little dark. And Thomas came up to me afterwards, and he goes, "Nice crying, dude. We're making a comedy."
Sorry, man. It's just goofs, baby. The goofs happen. The goofs happen when we're rolling. The goofs happen in between to keep morale up. You know.
There's no
Keep it light, Hayes.
Gotta keep
Jesus
it light.
Christ.
Gotta keep it
You got to
light.
remember what movie you're in, Hayes.
I know. I just like to get lost.
Gunning for
in
an
it.
Oscar and somebody married
It
Barry.
is true that when people do cry in comedy movies, that they want to prove that they're great actors and they want to prove that they can cry. Because they're really auditioning for some other fucking Oscar type movie, which is really what you were doing. and you weren't in the fucking movie that you're actually making, which is Someone Married Barry. Is that correct?
I think that's a fair assessment. I like get the material and I'm like this because you don't know what the tone is until you're a couple weeks into making it. And I just really wanted to floor it.
Yeah. Get in there, full tilt. And Christopher Nolan follows Tyler Labine religiously, so he could have gotten a little piece of you when he was watching The Bean.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then he's like, "Who? I'm sorry. Pause the movie. Who is that?
Who was the guy in Someone Married Barry who gave that funeral speech?
Who is that giant man crying?"
It's funny that you say that because like, the director Inarritu, is it Alejandro Inarritu? And he's made some Oscar-winning movies. During the pandemic, he sent word that he wanted to meet with me, and I was like, okay. And I went to his office in Beverly Hills, and he had this big sort of head of COVID hair, and I had this big head of COVID hair, and I'm like, I'll tell you, like when directors, when you look at like the stars of directors who make movies over and over again, a lot of times the main character will look a little bit like them, like a little bit like almost like a better looking version of them or a different version of them. And I'm sitting there across from him and I'm thinking, I'm just here because I kind of look like this guy. And he's like, I'm a fan. And I'm like, really? Okay. But we talked for like 2 hours about like Polish comedies, which I knew nothing about. I kind of went along with it. I haven't heard much.
Wait, he was looking for an. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying,
actor.
Jay. Directors look for but they're looking for an avatar, right?
Yeah.
Like directors are looking for like Richard Dreyfuss and Steven Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
Like
John
Wayne and John Ford. And Alejandro, that's one.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just
yeah. So if you see me in one of these movies,
you like my keep going. I'm trying to think of more. I can't think of more.
Keep going.
Well, the one that I don't see Alejandro Inarritu and Jay Chandrasekhar.
Well, you had to see the COVID hair, right? Like you had to see I was like this. I know what this is up to. Woody Allen and Kenneth Branagh.
Identical.
Well, Woody Allen made him. Woody Allen read the movie like Woody Allen did. So
I see.
Oh, he was acting
being Woody Allen in the movie.
Look, I remember when I first decided to come to Los Angeles, there was a little film called The Three Stooges that was being put together, and they really wanted people to embody the Three Stooges, and that was exciting.
The Farrelly brothers made that.
Yes. And Christy Amatopoulos was Mo. And lo and behold, 1, 2, skip a few, the man's in Silicon Valley is Russ Henneman, the guy who wants the doors to go like this. So everybody wants to look like everybody is the lesson of our collective tale.
Wait, did you?
Yeah.
So I could have seen you as a Mo, Thomas.
Oh, no. I think I was trying to audition for Larry, but I didn't. The thing is, like, you're only finding out in like the night before that they're like, no, they wanted an impression, like a spot on impression. And you're like, wait, what? I thought we were doing our interpretation. Okay, shit. And so you got like 20 minutes to be like, hey.
Will Sasso was Mo.
William Sasso.
Will Sasso.
I forget who got Larry. Will Sasso got Curly.
Sean Hayes.
Can you do you have a Larry impression now that you went and figured it out?
I mean, he kind of talks like this. But other than that, and then Curly goes, yeah, and Mo goes, you idiot, and all that. But it's like I'm the level of impressionist that you get like the hint of what I'm going after, as opposed to like, wow, what a ringer.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's spot on.
Yeah, like a touch. Just shade it.
Shavings even.
I wanted to see Jay. I wish Alejandro Inarritu gave Jay a scene to read, and he did it in a Spanish accent.
I would have. I would have. I was in over my head there. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to win a fucking Oscar if I can keep this thing going.
In the meeting, did he ask you flat out, hey, can you cry?
Well,
And then he pulled up the scene from Someone
can you,
Mary Berry,
yeah,
like
then he's
this
like,
guy.
because I want you to cry like him. Look at this man commit to drama.
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But if he really was a fan of my work, he could have seen my crying scene in Beer Fest when I talk about something that happened to me in Thailand.
Did you comedy cry, or did you try to like really land it?
Well, I knew the tone of the movie, so I kind of
That's fair.
I kind of tried to make it really crying but funny, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's levels to it. It can get weird. It can get really weird.
Yeah. What you started in Toronto, right? Or yeah, I know you're from British Columbia, but did you ever end up in Toronto in the comedy scene there?
Yes. I suppose like in earnest, after sort of dropping out of like a theater program, in earnest in regards to comedy, yeah, that's what kind of began. I was fortunate enough to be doing improv in like middle school, so I've been doing it since I was 14. So but that's like when you're a teenager.
And what was the kind of improv?
Yeah,
was it the Herald and all that?
At that time in Toronto, and when I was learning, it was all short form.
Yeah, like
I
Party
think here you've got Comedy Sports, but up there's this organization called Theater Sports, where it's like competitions, teams, things like that. So that was kind of the mode there. And then when I moved to Chicago, that was when I was like, "What's this long form, dude? Oh, no, this is jazz, man."
Was Del Close still alive then?
He was not, no, but the rumors, the legends, I should say, surrounding him were in full effect.
When I was 19, I took a semester off Colgate and I went to Chicago and I got involved in the IO with Sharna but Del was my teacher. I was in the lowest comedy group in the whole outfit, and Chris Farley was also in the same class. They put us all together, Keckner, all those guys, and it was interesting. I mean, he was sometimes mean and always super smart, and then they basically just throw you into these groups and you go on stage. And being in the worst group in the Improv Olympic, I was in with like a mom who thought she was funny. I was in with like an accountant who needed to sort of come out of his shell, and we were on stage and people were paying to watch us fucking be terrible. And man, it would be 35 minutes of just grinding silence.
We talked about this with Matt Walsh, the Del Close documentary. Did you see that, Thomas? Like,
did I see it? No, I don't think I did.
It's incredible. You saw it, right, Jay? We watched it before. It's like there's footage of Del Close teaching improv, like in the beginning. It was
I mean, I think that learning improv kind of seriously is beneficial. Learning it like it's a craft, and honestly, learning it like it's a method of theater, which it is. It's more. I don't want to sound too pretentious.
Yeah, do it.
I
see where you're going. Go.
I would say it's
on this.
Admittedly more theatrical than not all, but a good chunk of stand-up comedy. Stand-up being like, you're crafting jokes, you're crafting the mentality of it. There are certainly some physical comedians, but whereas improv, you're like playing parts and doing scenes, and there are moments where you're like, in order to edit the scene, you like whoosh across the stage. It's like a little bit more. I don't say theatrical in the sense that one's good, one's bad. I mean theatrical in the sense of like in a play kind of.
Well,
you're making these weird little playlists.
To act in other ways, right? It preps you to act in a play, preps you to act in a movie. A lot of stand-ups freeze, when they get into like a situation where they have to kind of be somebody else or show emotion. I mean, there's so much machismo in the stand-up world that the first films of like a lot of these stand-ups are a little wooden because they're embarrassed to emote in front of their other vicious stand-up friends. But like improv people,
not me and Someone Mary Berry. I just emoted.
Was that your first movie?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I see. Just generally.
but it was
Generally.
really fun. Yeah. I saw Thomas do, he used to do these shows all the time where he'd do like 90 minutes or 2 hours in Shakespeare. You guys would
Oh
improvise
yeah,
in
fresh Shakespeare.
the Shakespeare. Have you ever seen a show like that, Jay? And Thomas would like fully
Yeah.
commit. Like people, I think they thought you were a Shakespearean actor, like had been trained. But you were like,
No, well, I think I started out strong, but all the other guys in that group got so much better. Not only at like the moves of Shakespeare to know and then implement in the improv, but also the lexicon and the meter and all that kind of stuff. Where I was just like, "Thee thou, ha ha ha," and they were like spitting out poetry. But yeah,
it
that
was
show's pretty
confusing
amazing.
though, because you guys would improvise in Shakespearean language, and it did sound like maybe it could have been a written play sometimes.
I mean, it's kind of like Shakespeare meets a bit of Monty Python. Like we get away with it a little bit, but yeah, it's but to all that, I think that's kind of why when you learn improv, you do actually have to learn it. I would argue unlike stand up where you can be like, I think I got some jokes, I'm going to go to an open mic. Improv, you should probably go take a course and learn the philosophies before you start, blurring the quote unquote rules with it, just because it's such a group thing and you really have to, the people have to be talking the same language and stuff. And I've had the Del Close style teachers where they're like, that was bullshit, try again. Then I've had the super positive teachers, it's all part of the process.
Did you have, I think the reason I started stand-up, which was on the same exact era, was because of all the silence I got on stage with my improv group.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not what I had expected.
This is good.
So I went across town and did stand-up, and I got laughs, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm fucking, there you go.
Yes.
And
exactly. And that's
I
fair.
turned my back on performing improv because of the pain of it, of the silence. I couldn't, I was like, this is not, and I turned on the art form a little bit because I'm like, we were charging people to see this fucking terrible group, and it's unacceptable. This is not show business. We're not giving the show part.
I have the same thought. I think there's a lot of improv, and so much of it is not very funny, which is partly due to that's the business model of come learn, and then when you learn, you get on stage, and that's how it goes. That's the business model. Yeah, because you can't. If there's bad improv, you couldn't charge more than $5 a ticket because it's just it's not worth it. I think sometimes even the good stuff. Sometimes I just cerebrally, I kind of, it's amusing to me that improv is under the conceit, the audacity that people are just going to get up on stage, be like, can I get a suggestion? And then do scenes. Do I'm going to embody the day. Oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, son, I'm looking at your charts here, pal. And it's we're supposed to laugh at that. And when a cool move is going, everyone's like, ooh, 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 very nice. But, that being said, as much as I can shit on the thing that I love the most, it when it does come together, it's like a collective kind of
I agree.
thing.
I watched like Farley and Keckner. They had a group I think called Beer Shark Mice, and it was so incredible. You couldn't quite understand how it was happening. And we dropped acid one day and we just swung by the theater. And I'm with all those guys, right? And they're like, "We're going up. You want to go?" I'm like, "No fucking way!" And they went up and did their show, and it was fucking incredible. The whole crowd was going bananas, and I was like, "This is these are people who have a ability that I never really developed. Now I can get on a stage on a movie set, and I'll give you a couple of jokes, and I'll fucking improvise a little bit, but I'm gonna cut that up.
Yeah, sure.
No, because you're making up story when you're doing.
It requires that sort of
structure to it,
that desire to swan dive into a moving river. It's if there's hesitancy in there, or if you want to start controlling the direction of the river, or maybe crawl down to a lower ledge, it doesn't work as well. It's you gotta kind of shut off your self-doubt, not shut off your internal like writer and your internal comedy awareness voice, but you do have to be like, all right, here we go. Like, yes, and let's dive in. If we're astronauts, sure, we're astronauts. If we're mole people, okay, deal.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever. Yeah.
I find it. I mean, I'm not afraid on a stand-up stage to do that. To go, all right, what do you guys want to talk about?
Sure.
Because I feel like I have a story for everything, but that's a prepped thing, right? I'll tell you this Club Dread story, whatever. But
you can walk into it.
Yeah.
You can take any suggestion and steer it towards your.
Yeah, like Rory Scovel, the stand-up
stories.
Rory Scovel just did 2 or 3 full hours in Atlanta that were fully improvised, and
that's
you're
great.
like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, he's really like got a Andy Kaufman kind of thing. Like he did an entire. He started doing a German accent in one of his shows in Milwaukee, and then he did they were laughing. He did the entire act in his German accent. Like you're like, what do you? Wow. I mean, I don't know.
It's great. Yeah, that's great.
Thomas, I had a lot of friends in different sectors. You know, show business, cops,
finance
bros, the people who work in the computer world. Ask me all the time about Silicon Valley, and the takeaway is that it was a very ripe and accurate send up of that industry when it was happening, when it was all kind of blossoming. Did you feel that you guys were on the pulse of lampooning what was happening in that region at that time while you were doing it?
Yeah, while and after. I usually get kind of one of two responses if someone puts 2 and 2 together and they're like, oh, you're Richard from the show. It's oh man, that show, it was like you had a camera in the room, like that one scene that happened to me, or like we had a Guilfoyle who was like building his own server. That was totally real. Loved it. Or, hey man, I know the show's great, but I can't watch it because it's too accurate and it makes me relive the trauma I experienced as a failed startup. So it's either one is great, and yes, and that's hats off mainly to the writing staff. They put in so much work. I was just talking to Alec Berg about it, who is a showrunner along with Mike Judge, and he said that was like one of the hardest shows I've ever had to write, just because you had to get so much technical aspect of the whole thing correct. Otherwise, it all falls apart. He's dealing with stressful storylines that overlap while making it funny, while having actual plausible technical solutions. It was so hats off to them always.
It was incredible. The game that I thought you guys were playing so well. Every episode, you guys would take steps forward and then get the rug pulled out.
Yeah,
you were building this company, and there'd be like, it was like notching up a escalator or something, and then you get the rug pulled out in a different way, and then you'd be back 2 steps.
Yeah,
and it was just so repeatable to watch this company grow. And at the same, I mean, I had the same thing where people said about that show, I can't watch that show because the furniture in the office and the artwork on the wall is just like what I had. Like guys who sold their companies to like larger companies were like, that was what it was like. We would meet in cafes.
And it's funny because like people would be like, Richard, you idiot, and it's like, yes, that's fun. You want to have characters who make mistakes or think they're doing the right thing, but ultimately kind of immolate. And I always thought it was fun because, like, you know, it came on after Game of Thrones, and you'd watch Game of Thrones and it'd be like the Red Wedding or something, and you'd be like, oh my God, that was so intense. Anyway, let's unwind with a light 22-minute comedy. And then it's just a comedy that's like, hey, things are getting stressful and nothing's working. Have fun.
It was more than a palate cleanser. It was a laugh out loud.
No doubt.
But still additional stress. There's no relief.
I worked with Jimmy O Yang afterwards on this movie, and
he's great.
It's an incredible performance. I mean, I remember seeing him first, and I'm like, how did they get a guy to how does he understand the comedic rhythms of this whole thing? I was convinced,
Yeah.
and they just picked him out of China. I'm like, it has to be. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
Because he would never, like he would speak a little bit. He's not. It's incredible. I mean,
No, I know. And he brought because you could go, I don't know. Yeah, it's like you write a character, they're an immigrant of some kind, and their English is a second language and limited knowledge, and people tense up, and you're like, like what's it going to be like? I'm nervous. But he played that in a way that was both funny and for all the appropriate reasons, and never felt like I guess shameful, I suppose, or like that you selling out or anything. I thought he did a great job, and both he and the writers walked that line. The beginning, even at the beginning when he's introduced, or like TJ is going like, "You can't put fish in the sink," and he's like, "I eat the fish." It's like there's this language barrier that is not getting, and it's so funny. It's just so simple. He doesn't get it.
I eat fish.
Jay, didn't you tell stories about when you would have to audition in an Indian accent?
I mean, the first thing I did was, I was like 21 or something, or 22. I did NYPD Blue, and I was like one of those guys who works in like a seedy hotel in Manhattan, and I had to grow a little bit of a beard, and they put. Basically, my friend who also worked in that hotel was shot in the face, and the brains blew into my beard. And I was being interviewed by one of the detectives, and I had to do it in an accent, and I did it, and I'm like, fine. I mean, I ended up on TV. I was like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I've done the accent too in a movie called Baby Makers that I wrote with these. I rewrote. This guy Peter Gawke wrote.
Sure.
But I think it's fun. I mean, it's funny. Like when you hang out with people in India, they imitate Americans. They make fun of like white Americans. Or you see in like Korean nail salons, they'll make fun. Like it's like this is a part of the human condition. This is not like some awful racist thing. I mean, we all know what the racist version of it is, but
of course,
for the most part, it's we're primates and we imitate other primates, and that's what's the big fucking deal.
And if it sounds a little odd, it's funny.
I mean, I think it's
like
fantastic.
There was things that sound funny are like my kryptonite, and there was a lot of scenes with Jimmy where he's talking really quietly to me, but it's in that just like that accent, and I was like, I can't do it, and everyone's quiet, and he's doing the accent. I'm like, this is too much. I would have to break, and he's like, please, I want to get through the scene. I know. You have to try it a different way because it's crazy. I love that stuff. Parroting and mimicking a lot of the times gets like misinterpreted as something kind of sinister, but it's not. I think it's just, well, it can be, of course, as you said. There's a version of what it is, but a lot of the time it's almost celebratory. It's like that's new to me. What a delight.
Did you guys improvise a lot on? I mean, I know it was like the best writing staff and showrunners ever, but did you guys improvise a lot on that set?
I would describe it as like we would try to find little moments or additional jokes, and it's like you get the scene as is 1, 2, 3 times, and then in either within a little moment, a little exchange within the scene, or a little salt and pepper at the end, you try something.
Where are my headphones?
We have a little where are my headphones, Dad?
Oh. Hello. How are you?
You want to say hi to Thomas and Jay?
Sure. Sup, y'all?
What's up?
What's up, dog?
What's your name?
Sorry your dad took your
It's called
headphones.
Mustache Tales. You have to tell a story.
Oh. Well, want me to hear a story about how my dog almost died drowning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, we were at this new apartment, and there was a lake outside, and it got like thick on the outside and like thinner and thinner when it went in. And
The
ice, yeah.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was the winter then. It was like our first year being here. And literally, we weren't supposed to let the dog out. And the door was left open. And my dog, Nala, accidentally got out. She was drinking from the middle. She fell in. And then my dad would, took off his shirt, whipped it in the air, threw it, and then he was like hovering over the ice and saved my dog.
Hey,
Aw.
Hayes.
You know, I remember that story too, Viv. I didn't want to save the dog because I was very scared to go on the ice. And I was like, oh, this is really unfortunate that we're going to watch our dog drown, is what I was
You
thinking.
coward.
It was horrifying. And you looked at me through tears and said,
Oh,
Daddy, do
Uh,
something.
There
I
you
was
go.
like this. So there was like these viral kind of like things, and you bite into it, and then like, and it was like all these fuzz came out of it. And it was something kind of like a plant. Yeah, the poppies. And I was going to get one, and I was in my snow clothes, and I was like this, crying. I was like, "Wah," holding it in my mouth.
And I scaled out on the ice. I figured my dog weighed about 50 pounds at that time. And I saw how far out on the ice she got and when she fell through. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm 200 pounds. I got to get there. If I get on my belly and I put 50 pounds on each, like I put 50 pounds
Yeah,
on each
Spider-Man
knee
out.
and 50 pounds on each elbow, I think I can get there. And I shimmied on my belly, commando crawled out. I got to my
That's
dog.
it.
I just said, please, God, let me get this dog out. My daughter's watching and I don't want to pay for therapy for 20 years if this goes
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah.
And I reached out and I yanked the dog up and she just flew out of the ice. And then I pivoted, I turned around on my belly and I shimmied back to the shore.
Whoa.
And I'm just standing there in my underwear in the snow. And Mom comes out and everyone's like crying and happy. The kids couldn't believe what just happened.
Oh my gosh. I remembered I was like grabbing Noel's car, and I was like crying and snuggling her when we went inside.
Oh.
She was shivering. And my wife comes out and goes, what the hell's going on out here? I'm trying to take a nap. It was my hero moment.
Yeah, that
Wait,
is
is
really
this-
cool.
Is this like one of your guys' podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Daddy.
Ah.
Bye. Thank you for letting me.
Good talking to you. Way to go, Hayes. What a
Fucking
stud
squirrel.
going into the ice, getting the dog.
Yeah, I queued her up for that story, I guess.
Did it?
No, she
Yeah,
just
yeah,
thought about
exactly. Is that what you went back to say? You could
Come
just
back
come
in.
back in 5 minutes?
and
Tell
tell
the
them about
story.
the best moment of my life.
The ice didn't crack.
You know, it was the ice. Well, yeah, it did crack. I mean, it went to the middle, wasn't frozen. It was, you know, you could get out a certain way, and it went thicker to thinner. So there was a threshold.
Good baller. Yeah.
I honestly didn't have a choice. It was.
Yeah.
What is the
Like,
part
'cause
where
my-
you
she
took
was-
your shirt off and swirled it over your head before you went in? What's that part?
I think that was her dramatic flair. I did have to take my clothes, which was great. I
So it's necessary because you don't want to fall in with your clothes, but it's also so demeaning to be in your underwear crawling on all fours on the ice.
Could you imagine if you were
Precarious that
driving
you
by?
don't fall in, so your stance is all like weird and splayed out. I bet your butt's like way in the air. You're like, oh God, oh Jesus.
If you
Oh,
were
this
driving
dog
by,
isn't
you'd
driving-
be like, who is that guy on bath salts dry humping the ice?
Right. And
I did take off my clothes because I'm like, if I go in,
Yeah, you don't want that.
there's
to be
some
bad.
type of rationale to it.
No,
I
it's
would just
that's
say.
the thing to do for sure. You don't want to go in.
no,
Yeah, I
unless
like
you
my
had
and your
shirts.
wife coming
Like,
out
it's-
and yelling, it was funny, and it should be this big heroic moment, but your dick had to be as small as it's ever been, right? And you must have been like, God, if only I was chubbed up right now. If only then this would be a real story.
And my wife would see me finally again sexually after so many years.
I'm going to argue the counterpoint. It would be weirder if I had done that and then had a giant erection.
I guess that's a really good point. You make a really good point.
Just
Well, thanks for saving the dog, Hayes. But why are you hard right now? What's wrong with you?
It's for you. I was thinking about you.
It's for you. It's all for you. I love you, baby.
I grab her. She's like, "You're freezing and cold. Get back on."
Yeah.
Trying to take a nap.
It's like feels like an Everybody Loves Raymond episode. You go get the dog, and the wife comes in and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? I was having a nap."
Yeah, that's the name of the sitcom. Hayes can't win.
Hayes can't.
Hayes can't. What about Hayes?
What about Hayes?
Somebody marry Hayes.
Where have you been traveling? You've been traveling around, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I sort of made a little promise to myself that I'd start traveling a little bit more for leisure, because when you get so into the weeds and into the trenches of the entertainment business, you're like, I can't possibly do that. I have to stay here in LA and avail myself to every opportunity.
Yeah.
And then once I get the job, I'll just be there.
Right.
So yeah, I went to Europe during the lockdown. They let us go. And last year I climbed Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
Or hiked it, I guess. It's more
What are
accurate.
you doing this fall? You're going to like the base of
Mount Everest base camp. Yeah,
dude, that's a real thing.
Well,
it's a real thing. It's not summiting. I really need to clarify. Summiting is the crazy thing where you've got oxygen. And you're like, it's like, just hold on, the storm will pass. That's the summit. But the base camp is actually it's relatively simple, except for probably the last day, the summit day, where
but the base camp is its own trip. Just the base camp.
Yeah, you go. You have lower altitudes. It's much more scenic. It's it's Nepal. It's beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous.
And they don't. They don't.
Babe, Nepal, babe. You've got to see.
It's going to be gorgeous.
Nepal in the fall. Forget it.
Oh,
I've been to
forget that
Nepal.
shit.
I've been to Nepal.
All right.
It's
not that good.
Well,
Jay chimes in. Been there. It's actually kind of.
Yeah, it's awesome actually.
Wow, a lot
we
of
walked
pollution.
into that one.
It's awesome.
He's like, I've been there.
I went to Kathmandu, and you walk around
Yeah.
Kathmandu, and there's all this. At least at the time, all this like the Doors are playing and the Dead are playing. It's like a real mix of like India and China and the hippie scene. Like the food is like.
Cool.
Part Chinese, part Indian, and it's just its own thing. I took a bike tour with my dad with this monk, and it was perilous. Like I was like, this is how we die. And I really don't ride bikes anymore after that. I'm like, I'm not doing it. This fucking it was insanity what we were doing.
Why? Because of like, were you on a trail on a precipice?
There were times we were riding on a cement top of a wall, and there was like a 15-foot drop into rice paddies on the right side, and a drop on the left a little bit, and you're like, Jesus, fine. My dad's like, what the hell are we doing? And we're fucking we got all the way to the top, and my dad's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. We're calling a fucking car. We're getting my bike in here. I'm out of here. And anyway, he drove down, and I'm like, I guess I'll drive with the monk. I'm like 22. But it was fun. And you come back dusty. You end up coming back like, because of my skin color, I look like I'm wearing like heavy makeup. And you're like, I look pretty goddamn good with all this fucking dirt on me. Like it's a dusty place. But
this dirt is
it's awesome.
Look.
I mean, it's awesome. And we didn't go up to the base camp or anything. But there's right before we got there, we knew a guy who outfitted the base camp. He outfitted the people who summit Everest, and his last group that he put up, 12 of them died up there. So,
Word. And, hey, if I'm lucky.
It wasn't base camp, it was the people who went higher. But
yeah,
you don't want to go down and go into base camp.
No.
Oh,
I think the
Thomas went
chances
down
of that are
and died on
extremely
Everest.
rare.
And there's no scenario where
so
they're
did he
like,
make it to the top? No, he didn't make it to the bottom.
Yeah, you make it to the start line.
is there a scenario where you're there and some guy goes, hey, who wants to go to the top? And you're like, fuck it, I'll do it. No, that's not possible, right?
Absolutely not. I have no desire.
Okay.
The summoning
Thomas looked down. He's got half a water bottle and an energy chew, and he's
like, fuck it, yeah. I only have shorts. Is that going to be all right? Yeah, get on up.
It's so ridiculous that the Sherpas like run up and back, but the people who get celebrated for hiking the mountain,
we're not used to it. Dudes. I will say the crazy thing, like when doing Kilimanjaro, is like you realize, like, man, the conditions in Africa at large are very different, and God bless these guys because they are all the time with a smile on their face, singing songs. And it could be, to entertain the tourists, but it does read in some parts quite genuine because it seems like that is kind of culturally part of the thing, at least in Tanzania. And they're they are going to each stop at least 3 times faster than you. They have at least 3 times the more baggage. They have your huge backpack, tent supplies on their head. A couple of guys were doing it in fucking Crocs. And you just go like, man, this, wow. Thank you. And I'm like struggling. Oh, can we do another water break? And they're like, whoosh, 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 running up.
Kilimanjaro, though, is a hard hike, right? I mean, it's like...
It was, I would describe it as, I don't know, I could be getting the days wrong, but it's like something like 7 days or something. And let's say 5.5 of them are fine. They're like, it's just kind of like hiking, but you're doing it day after day. So it's like a little bit arduous, but overall a really enjoyable experience. But that last day, that summit day, where you get no sleep and you go from like 15,000 to 19,000, it's so hard. I didn't think huffing away with very little oxygen, going up a pretty steep hill was going to be honestly the most difficult thing physically that I've ever done personally. But then again, I haven't crawled out under the ice in my underwear and rescued a dog in front of my crying children.
With a shrunken penis.
With a tiny micro penis that my wife just looks at and just goes, oh,
gross.
God, why do I even bother?
Yeah,
Gross.
Yeah, it just goes, ew, gross.
That's 4,000 feet in a day. So the summit is in Kilimanjaro is 15,000 feet to 19,000 feet. That's
like the last stop. It's a hub. You start at midnight too. It was kind of crazy. Like it's pitch black. You only have like your headlamps, and you see the other people up, and you're all trudging up.
The other people who
the fucking
who
Mordor to destroy the ring.
You?
Yeah, there are people. I wish our group had done that, but I think it's probably all staggered. Yeah. So what you realize is like all the tour groups, they sign up and they all kind of communicate to each other, which is good, you know. And they do what do you call it in hiking? What goes in must come out. What do you pack out what you pack in or something? So there's not too much crud, at least in the Kilimanjaro. I hear that Base Camp Everest is like littered with the trash of the fallen, basically.
But
which
also
is a
the
little
bodies
dark.
of the fallen. Like imagine that is radical going up that, like summiting that and walking by like frozen people.
Yeah,
like they don't.
Yeah, I think there's like a body or there's a body with a particular jacket that is like a landmark. It's like, oh yeah, that's Yellow Jacket or something like that.
Yeah,
it's fucking
it's
cool.
Yellow Jacket.
You won't see me up there. I can tell you that.
Well, this was never in my list. Like summiting peaks is not a thing that I was like, this is what I need to do. I just think, you know, it's been a weird few years and I was kind of looking for something to shake me up a bit. And the Kilimanjaro thing was hard, but it was ultimately a really enjoyable experience. And the same group is like, you know, they're doing the Everest, and I thought, that'd be kind of cool.
Same people.
You know? Yeah. Before I pass on to the great beyond, I could say that I went to Camp Everest.
What do you? I have two questions. One, what do you eat? Two, you're sleeping over every night? I have 3 questions. And do you see any wildlife?
On the Kilimanjaro trip, we ate like Tanzanian food basically, because the cooks are Tanzanian and they probably mild it up a little bit. When you get to higher elevation, you really have a very bad appetite. Like it's not there. I kind of got nauseous when I ate, so I'll be like, just give me soup, you know. But I'm not sure. I'm assuming that for the Everest it will be, you know, local cuisine. And in the Tanzanian one, the porters carried up tents and they set up tents for you, and that's where you slept. But in this one, I think for the majority of the time, we sleep in these like tea houses, of these halfway points, which I don't know what will be better, because now we're in. You could argue, it's like a little hut. That's nice, but now it's like, but so many people have shared that. All these like, I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's where you get freaking mountain lice.
Yeah, and also like people have freaked out in those little beds before.
Now that's a comforting thought, Hayes.
Like,
I can't wait to
have
sleep.
a lot of anxiety.
I can't wait to sleep in a bed where someone's had dread
bed.
Yeah,
burn some sage, burn some
dread
sage.
bed.
And wildlife.
And then I'm not sure what the third question was, but it's wildlife. In Tanzania, you saw some birds, but again, like high up, you don't really not a lot of critters as well. In the bottom section, monkeys, jungle creatures, because it is in the jungle in the bottom part. but you get up high and really there's just a few birds. At the summit, I don't remember.
And you're
seeing
walking on
anything,
a trail, right? You're not like hucking through.
It's a park,
Yeah.
right? So you don't go anywhere you want.
Okay.
And Everest, I believe, the path to the base camp is kind of in a valley, so you can't. Not a lot of places you can
Did
go.
you
anywhere.
go with somebody?
There's
Did you know people on there?
I have. Yeah, I had there's like an American sort of guy who puts this group
Yeah.
together, and then he has like the tour guides in these respective places that put the locals
So
together.
there weren't strangers.
And
there
then
weren't
there was-
strangers with you.
Oh no, it was all strangers to me.
And did the,
I like my bunkmate, my tent mate on Kilimanjaro was this guy Trevor Rainbolt, who's like a world famous professional geoguesser. Do you know what geoguessing is? It's like this. I don't know when it became famous. I'm assuming during COVID, but like you look at a Google Map image for a split second, nothing, and then you go, oh, it's in it's in Chile. It's probably in this region and this because you've studied like, images from locales around the country, around the world, so much that you can deduce road signs, topography, this, that, flora, fauna, and you can be like, it's here, probably. And he is like he's probably the most.
what
famous
when you're
geoguesser.
looking for what, like a person or a thing, or like what do you, like whatever?
You look at like a picture of a side of the road, and you go, okay, this is where it is in the world.
Like in the back of
It's
like a hostage video.
Sure, minus the hostages. I don't think there's
No,
too
it does feel like a geoguesser would be someone that gets called in, right?
Yeah, by the
Like-
Navy SEALs. Yeah, just be like, we need to know where these guys are.
Yeah, where are they?
Yeah.
New Jersey.
But and it was that kind of group that was put together. I came by myself because I asked friends, hey, do you want to go Kilimanjaro? No one said yes, so I wasn't going to stop because of it. So it was all strangers, and it was a great group. A lot of them felt very American. They were very.
Were
boisterous.
you
I was like,
recognized?
oh, wow, this is how it happens.
Like,
oh,
yeah.
hello,
Were,
sorry.
were
Were
you recognized?
I think maybe by a
Yeah.
couple people, and then
Did you get the Hollywood treatment after that?
no.
Let me carry
no.
your-
What's that?
Let me
He's
carry
like,
your
get on my
backpack,
back.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Anything for you, sir?
Yeah, a lot of people think actors are pussies. It's great seeing you up here, man.
Yeah. Hey, brother. No special treatment. No, thank goodness.
You don't have to give me a producing credit on this, but will you please film your voyage to base camp? Just
The whole thing?
do. I
I'll
think
probably
so.
film.
I would pay to see Thomas walking to base camp. Maybe do some Shakespearean improv on the way up. Just use the environment.
Mixed genres, hey. It's
Yes.
mixed genres.
I love your radar for cringe. It's non-existent. Thank you, sir.
Shameless.
No, I did record, some of
the
the stuff for Kilimanjaro and sort of condensed it into like a TikTok length style, sort of like here's what it was, nice and peppy. I don't think I'm not going to make any delusions that I'm Ewan McGregor on the long way round or something doing some grand.
I watched that when he rode his
Odyssey.
motorcycle.
I
across
loved
the
it.
earth.
I loved it, but that's
too.
Ewan McGregor, and let's be face it, I am not he.
That is so ballsy. Like, I am an interesting enough person where, what's the idea here, Ewan? I'm just going to ride my motorcycle around the world.
But it is- that
let's
is a
have it.
true
It's
journey.
just me on my motorcycle.
Yes.
Okay, great. Here's $10 million.
Is he solo?
I love
Is
that.
he solo?
No, he was with a
Okay.
friend. Him and his buddy sort of rode around the world, and then he did another one. He did a few more. I think that's great.
No, it's
Uh,
pretty cool. But I'm just
I
saying
have, like,
as
a
an
little-
idea.
Yeah, it's ballsy.
Yeah.
But the man's goddamn
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, the pitch though is potentially very embarrassing. If they're like, wait, that's it? We really want to give you fucking millions of dollars for you to drive around your motorcycle? Go fuck yourself.
But they probably got him to do a movie. It was like one for us, one
That's
for them
probably true.
kind of thing.
That's probably true. Star Wars 6.
Yeah. Star Wars said. I get to ride my bike with my homie around the world? Okay, I'll do it.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't tell Thomas about the vouching.
I
Jay.
did while you were off getting your daughter's headphones.
Yes, I've got the vouch.
Okay, thank you.
I've got the vouch.
Okay,
download.
let's shoot.
Are we about? Are we
I
in
think it's
vouching
time to
territory?
Okay.
Do you guys go first?
Unless Hayes, you want to go first?
Oh, you go
Okay.
first, Jay.
I'm going to vouch for the show Hacks. I can't remember the name of the lead actress or the other lead actress.
Jean Smart.
Jean
Isn't that
Smart.
Drew Tarver? Isn't that Drew Tarver's show?
is
Yes.
Drew the I'm doing a terrible job. But let me just say this. This is a show I watched season 1 of, and I'm like, I like it. It's pretty good. And then I took season 2 off, and then my wife was like, let's watch Hacks.
Oh, damn.
And I watched 1, and I'm like, this is, in my opinion, the top joke writing on television right now. And then I watched 2, 3,
cool.
4, 5, and I kept, I'd watch 3 or 4 at a time, and then I'd fall asleep in the 4th one, and then we'd have to start the next day in the 4th one again. And last night I got through 6. I fell asleep halfway through. It doesn't sound like I like it very much, but I've had a few drinks by the time I'm watching Hack. But I think it's like top joke, right? I think it's just special and really funny performances. But Lorraine Newman's daughter is her writer.
Yeah.
And there's some good, girls kissing girls, which I always like. So, it's got all the elements for me. I really vouch for Hacks.
I
Come
thought
for
it
the
was.
jokes, stay for the
Do you
kissing.
think that show? I love it as well, Jay. It's got to be based on Joan Rivers.
It is
right?
Joan Rivers. It's Joan Rivers, and I guess her writer, and then her daughter is played by the woman from It's Always Sunny.
I've got Hannah Einbender and Jean Smart. These
Yeah,
look like
Caitlin Olsen.
leads.
plays
Caitlin
her
Olsen.
daughter.
Boy, is she great. I love Caitlin Olsen.
She's like has a very contentious relationship with her mom. It is a great.
It's
a
that
great show.
story. It's that story. Because Caitlin Olsen is selling jewelry in the same way that her daughter in real life was selling jewelry online, and it's a whole thing. It's great.
I love that one. I guess I was going to vouch for something, a product that I'm excited about, but I did watch a good movie the other day, and I didn't think it was going to be a great movie. It's Hitman, starring Glenn Powell, directed by Richard Linklater. And I was like, remember the movie The Saint with Val Kilmer, where he played all the different, you got to see him be like a Russian or a New Yorker. The movie Hitman's really fun because you get to watch Glenn Powell do the same thing. He plays like 9 different characters, and it was a fun ride. I think it's on Netflix. I like it.
I never saw The Saint. I just remember the promo. So you're saying it's like an Eddie Murphy movie where he plays like
It's not
like he's like
it's not like Meet the Clones.
it's not Meet the Clones. Oh, okay, well,
Okay.
No,
Oh, okay.
Well, what's
It's
okay.
what is it? So it's not very
He-
funny.
He's not talking.
okay, well,
No, he has to, in order to, he this is the premise. He arrests people who are trying to hire a hitman to take out someone. So
Oh.
each time he meets with them, he has to pretend to be a hitman for hire. So he starts getting into it and starts tailoring the hitman of that person to what they need. Like, so it's fun to see him do a bunch of different characters.
Does he do Russian?
Of course, you have
Got
to
it,
do a
got it.
Russian wearing a black
okay.
turtleneck.
Yeah.
then
That's
I'm
what
in.
I love, yeah. That shit's fucking hilarious, bro.
That's right.
A lot of comedies forget
I
like
like
put a fucking
Richard
Russian in it.
Linklater.
It's
I don't
very,
expect-
very
like,
funny.
he's done a lot of really incredible films. Like,
Linklater.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
he did the one about the kid growing up,
Boyhood.
right? Boyhood.
Yeah.
Boyhood.
That's amazing that you'd start a movie and then shoot it every 7 years. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, he's a hell of a filmmaker. I mean, that movie he did originally called Slacker, which is just like in Austin, Texas, and it just. I mean, you guys seen Slacker? No.
I haven't.
It sounds familiar,
it starts
but
with
I don't know. I have
it
such
starts
a
with
bad
Richard
memory.
Linklater in the back of a cab in Austin, Texas, and he's just talking a mile a minute to this cab driver. And the cab driver pulls up to a store. Linklater pays the guy and gets out, and he walks into the store, and he walks by the counter, and the camera stays with the guy behind the counter. And then it's his movie for a few minutes. That guy walks down the street, and then somebody else's movie, and they just go all around Austin, Texas, and it's
cool.
It's an awesome movie. It was the movie that really put Linklater on the map. And he made it for like $100,000 or something, and showed it at all the theaters, and Angelica and all that. And obviously Dazed and Confused he made, which is a fucking work of art. Incredible movie. But yeah, he's a great filmmaker. And I will watch.
He did animation with like Waking Life.
Waking Life with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Basically, they shot that live.
No, that was Scanner Darkly. Waking Life was
also Waking Life.
Ethan Hawke.
Also Waking Life.
Oh, Keanu Reeves was in both?
Yeah.
Oh, silly goose.
Oh, I don't know. I might be wrong about that. But
does it matter?
No, not at all.
Keanu Reeves can be in everything. Right. I don't care.
But they
love
painted
the guy.
over the real film, basically, and animated it over the real. It was cool. It was super cool, I thought. I'm a big fan. He's also a good ping pong player, Richard Linklater.
Well, let's see how he is on the pickleball courts. That's right. I'm challenging you, Linklater, you fucking pussy. Maybe on the courts. Check your email.
It is the most unmasculine thing to challenge someone to. A pickleball duel.
A duel. High noon.
What's up,
Bring
pussy?
your paddle, sir.
You want to work this out on the court?
Are you a good pickleball player, Thomas?
A medium level, yeah.
It's
been a
hard to
minute.
be
I haven't.
bad.
No, that's not true. I've played against a lot of very bad people at pickleball.
Okay, I'll watch this Hitman movie, Hayes. Even though I have to say, I don't know. Sometimes I just won't watch streaming movies because I'm like pissed off that Silicon Valley came down to, not your show, but came down to Hollywood and fucking broke our business. I find that, and when they put one straight to video like this, I'm like, fuck you and your straight to video movie. However, Hayes, I'm going to watch this fucking straight to video movie.
It's true. It would be a more fun movie to see in the theaters. You're right.
Doubt.
Because there's nothing that keeps you from looking at your phone or stopping the movie when you're at your house.
Yeah.
Like you're in the theater, you're locked in, you got to take the whole ride for better or worse.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of partial stuff gets watched.
I mean, Glenn Powell,
like, I got it.
Glenn Powell, like they're grooming him to be the next movie star, but you're like, let's see you in the fucking theater, pal. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got
I
on the
didn't
big
come
screen.
here to watch it on my fucking phone, pal. Glenn Powell. Let's go. Put it up.
Turn it up, baby.
I mean, Slacker is a movie they made for $100,000. That was in the theater. I saw that there. What's wrong? Glenn Powell can't be up in the fucking theater? Somebody help this guy out.
Yeah. This is what they call it. Suspension of disbelief, where you have to, that's what a movie theater does.
Yep.
You're like locked in and your brain waves are like at a certain thing where you buy the story more.
Hayes MacArthur on the theatrical experience.
That's why we got to bring him back, guys. We can't let him die.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. All right. I know we sprung this vouch on you, Thomas, but you got one for us?
Can I offer a concept, or does it must be a piece of art? Well, then I'm going to go down, and this is tying into pickleball unintentionally, but I think I'll vouch for the notion of playing sports.
I like that.
Okay. Now this. Now you hear me out.
We are here.
Okay. Playing sports as an adult. You play them growing up. Either you really like doing them, you were good at them, your parents say, hey, you got to be in a league or something, whatever. It's got to be a part of your life growing up. Then life happens. You get career minded, you all the kind of shit. Oh, I meet a spicy partner, I kiss her, we kiss, we fall in love, we marry. Yes, all these things.
Russian,
whatever. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. It could have been Armenian. It's tough. That was tough to tell. All I know is it was funny. But then only in my 40s, I was like, my friends started, we all started playing pickleball. And then my friends put together a softball league. And now I'm in like this ball hockey league. And I forgot how fun and how rewarding getting out there, moving your body, and even just being lightly competitive is. Not only for your body, because it wasn't that nice. And even though, yes, I'm in my 40s now and my hip hurts, of course, lol.
But, you have a hip hurt.
Yes.
You got a great body. I mean, I can tell that right now. So just...
And I'd be happy to show it to you off camera.
Thank you. I'll vouch for it. I'll vouch for that body.
Yeah. So it's good for your body, but I will say this: it's more important. I always say physical fitness in any way, or just sports, or something, or moving your body is more. I wish we framed it more like this: it is better for your mind. It is like one of the best ways, one of the most effective ways to combat sort of some potential mental health hurdles that one might be experiencing. If you've got a proclivity for a little bit of el depresión, or even some anxiety, some things like that, you just be with friends, or at least be with nice strangers. You're on a team, or maybe a solo sport like
golf.
I don't know. Golf, yeah, golf, exactly. You're out there, and your body will help you if you move it in a somewhat vigorous way. Your brain is gonna be like, I like that. Have some feel-good juice, and you're going to get off the field, the pitch, the court, the whatever, feeling a little bit better. And there's nothing better than walking around for the rest of the day, and every time you move, you kind of get the sense that your body worked in some way that day. Because I'm not a gym guy, won't go to the gym, won't lift. That's super boring for me. Some people love it. That's great. Live that. But I don't know. I guess I'm just like, sports now have been this gateway drug, an acceptable way for me to kind of get out there because I like it and it's fun. Whereas I think you get the impression, especially with all these like fitness influencers, that the only way to get that, I guess, is like to go like power lift or something and cut all carbs and all that kind of shit. So,
dude, I love this advice. I love it even more coming from you because you have you connect with a lot of people who are on their computers a lot, correct?
Yes.
So you see,
I'm on Twitch. I stream on Twitch. I have it's like an online community of like very online people.
Yeah. And you're relating to them and talking to them, and you get relationships. Do you see a lot of people who don't, for lack of a better word, get outside a lot?
Yeah, and I think it's very important though to not wag the finger at them, because we don't know. I mean, they could have some kind of condition, they could have, whatever, or they could be in the throes of despair. So it's really hard to mount that hurdle. I always try to frame, when I talk about this, I always try to frame it like, do it for your mind. If you get a benefit in your body, you look in the mirror, hey, I'm noticing that 5 pounds that I lost, it looks a little better. That's great. That's a secondary objective. I truly think any form of, I don't even want to say physical fitness, but let's call it physical fitness, any form of moving your body to a degree that you would call exercise or sport or leisure or whatever, your brain will reward it.
That's the number one
I do think it's
Alzheimer's prevention advice is to have 30 minutes of cardio a week. That's the number one.
Oh.
And 30 minutes a week is, I don't want to be like savage. That is like so minimum. That is so doable.
Yeah.
In like, there's really no excuse to not be able to do 30 minutes. That's not very much. 30 minutes a day. I mean, like sometimes you play, if you do join a league of something, you might play a game of whatever you might elect to play for an hour, too. You rent the pickleball courts, stay there for half the day, enjoy yourself.
Number two on,
I don't know. I hope that's not too hippy dippy, but that's like literally like I hit 40. I started playing sports, and I'm like, why did I stop for 20 years? This was ridiculous. I should have been playing all this time. I would have had such a healthier head, because I think I've had a lot of introspection in terms of mental health this past I don't know, even 5 years, and to start to finally take it seriously and treat it and hopefully get to be a more like sane human. It's weird, the little things that work.
Yeah.
And you go like, this works. It's not fantasy. So I just want to preach sports, baby. Play them.
Good for your brain.
Get out there.
The number 2 thing to prevent Alzheimer's is no alcohol. But Hayes and I are skipping that one. Number 3
Yeah, fuck that shit.
is eating healthy. So we got that one. Just skip number 2, move with the
Yeah,
jury.
okay. Yeah.
All right, that was fun.
Dude, you got to come back on, Thomas, after you hike to base camp and let us know.
Oh yeah, you want
how it went.
the debrief?
Love to have the
Yeah.
debrief.
I'd be happy to.
Great to see you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Thanks,
on.
yeah.
Coming.
Great to see you both.
Okay, bye now.
Mustache Tales.